So I think it's pretty universally accepted that Black Knight sucks.
That's terrible.
And look, I get it. Dara has made a deck that some people can win with Black Knight, but let's be real for a second. Dara poops gold when playing Marvel Snap. Dude is a Snap deity of gaming, and we need a Black Knight that is usable for the rest of us common folk. So we're not going to set our standards to someone who's as gifted as he is. Let's see what we can do to adjust Black Knight. We're going to be talking about how to change this card to make it usable, whether it's a patch or an OTA, etc. So we're going to dive into that. And of course, we're going to be looking at how has Black Knight actually been performing. Are we going to be surprised by these numbers? Maybe. Let's just jump in. We're going to give shouts out to Marvel Snap Zone Untapped and Snap.fan. I like to use these websites. They're all fantastic. I like to compare all three different trackers, different uses, etc. So that way we get a bigger, wider range of understanding. So we're starting with Marvel Snap Zone. 7 days is what we got on here. We've got rank 80 to 89. It says Conquest. That's not accurate. Right now, we're just looking at how much is being played. So we're going to scroll through here. Shuri Sauron. I mean, we're looking for Black Knight. And I'm going to tell you right now, because I scrolled through this one already, is that Black Knight's not here. So you're not even seeing Black Knight in the meta share according to Marvel Snap Zone. I'm looking. It's not there, which is kind of like, okay, that's a little telling. Little concerning. Now, again, I like to look at numbers, win percentages, average cubes, stuff like that. But Black Knight is just not here. I don't need to tell you the decks that are here. If you want to pause it as I'm going through this, that's totally up to you. Anyway, end of that list, right? Okay, so MetaShare. Let's actually look at something we care about a little bit more. Let's just go to average cubes because I like to really go that way. All right, Thor Elsa. Let's just, I mean, all you got to do is look at the ones, right? Shuri Sauron. Where is my Black Knight? Show me something. Are we finding Black Knight anywhere? I don't think so. It's pretty sad, honestly, because I will say that I thought, and I just thought the card would work slightly different, but I thought it was going to be a fairly impactful, solid card as far as like on my graphic. You know, I mean, it's something that I just thought I was like, well, that's going to be huge. 420, giggle, like also like lots of power. Bring back something like Infinite. That's 2 lanes. But the problem is that you need so much stuff to line up to actually get that to pull off. I just thought that the card would, when you play it, like you'd already automatically get Ebony Blade. And then, you know, it's like, even if you played it, it would take over the power. So it would just be a little bit more fluid. And the truth is it's just not. It's just not. Let's look at 100 plus before we, you know, get out of this here, because I mean, we pretty much know the answer here, but look, it's always important just to check data. No matter what you think, no matter what you assume, you've got to always check data. I don't care if it's a political story, if it's a Marvel Snap story, if it's, you know, a math equation, whatever. You want to double check what you think to be true and valid. There's nothing wrong with that. None of us are, you know, Dara level smart as far as like knowing everything. I don't know why I've got a crush on Dara today. Call me maybe. That was weird. Sorry, Dara. I'm not really that much of a creep on, you know, at least every day. Ask my wife. She thinks I'm creepy every day. All right. So nothing's there, right? So now it says Conquest meta. This is ranked. Again, average cubes, like any win rate. Like, I mean, it's just not here. Look, I don't need to keep doing this on Marvel Snap Zone. It's not here. We're going to go over to Untapped to see if their tracker is showing anything different. But you're seeing, I mean, our first indication is like the dude's not even registering here, which is the first time since I've ever looked at any of these that a card is just straight not registering. And this is a Series 5, mind you. All right, so we're over on Untapped.gg, and this one is latest patch. Unfortunately, they don't have... I really don't like this as much. They don't have as good of a, like, I love the last week thing. They really need to do this stuff for last week. I've got it from 80 to 100. This one's a little bit smoother as far as looking at the decks. They have tier A, Sarah, Move, Hela, Guardian, Shuri. I'm pretty sure he's not in any of these. Elsa, Move, Elsa, Shuri, Thanos, Loki, maybe? No, I was pretty sure it wasn't going to be in there, but might as well check. Galactus, Cerebro 2? No, I mean, technically, but that would have been weird. 3, Destroy, maybe? No. Yeah, I mean, I kind of thought that was the case too. Electro Ramp, Cerebro 5. Electro Ramp, no. Yeah, it's already hard enough to play without limiting yourself to one card. Negative Surfer, 2-1. No, you wouldn't put it in that. Elsa, maybe? No. Hela, maybe? No. All right, yeah, I mean, Phoenix, Wong. Discard? Okay, so it shows up in a regular discard deck here. All right, average cubes of 0.13. That's pretty bad. We're in C tier. Win rate of 52. I mean, look, almost all the decks you're going to see are around 50%. You really want something 55, 56 to 60+% win rate if possible. Because that tells you, like, if us common folk are winning around that percentage, that it's a little bit easier to win with. This is not there. It's in a C tier. So, okay. All right. So finally we get to show up in something. And then I love this. They actually have a straight Black Knight deck in D tier. And this is 0.06 average cubes, win rate less than 50%. A little bit bigger cards in this one. It's got Ghost Rider to help bring some stuff down. I don't know. This is kind of a mix between the Magic, or not the Magic, the Shuri, Black Knight, Red Skull Taskmaster stuff. It's not a bad idea, but again, it's trash, obviously. So all of this stuff is just, it's just not doing it. Again, pool 3+ is what we want. I mean, I could take 100 out of here. I could go in just 100, but let's be real. It's not there, and it's just not good. So, well, you know what? We got to be thorough, right? Let's just do 100. All right. This is easy to scroll through because we don't have to click on a bunch of stuff. And where does Black Knight show up? Yeah, back in D again. Back in D. A little bit higher win rate, I think, this go. It's just bad. Let's jump over to Snap.fan. That's the one I sort of like to end with. By the way, I'm inserting this in my video. See how that all disappeared? I've got multiple websites. This, YouTube, Marvel Snap Zone, where I've got the dark background. And it's really weird. See how it came back? All I did was move my mouse. If anybody can comment below to tell me why this is happening. I didn't change anything that I'm aware of. I did update my graphic drivers, but out of nowhere it started doing this, and it's really tripping me out. Comment below if you have any clue why. All right, Snap.fan. I like to end with this one because it's card specific. We can do last 7 days, and we can sort by a whole bunch of different columns as far as in deck, when drawn, when played. All right, so in deck, let's just look at game scene. All right, so our most popular cards right now: Chavez, Jeff, Elsa, Luke Cage, Mobius, Shang-Chi, Team Torch. By the way, all the hatred that was going around that was real for that, like, shame on the people doing that. That was a lot of meme fun, and that's the way it should be. Like, look, I personally, like, if Shang-Chi won, it was like fine. If Ghost Rider won, fine. It was a fun little event to do some promo. Anybody who actually took, like, some real stuff, like, I saw one of the artists, like, actually was getting some hate. Like, that ain't right. Be better, people. All right, so Angela, Eliath, Infinite, Kitty Pryde. These are all cards you'd expect to be. So let's, I've got a search here for anything that's got black in it. Black Cat. Oh, there's Black Knight. So, oof. A new card in less than 8,000 games. I mean, that's less than Daredevil, Mystique, around the same as Cyclops, Kraven, Odin, Lizard. That should tell you right there, not a lot of people playing the card. Now, again, Series 5, maybe people are being a little bit more limited on it. Okay, fine. So let's look at where we're actually winning here. 56 is the top. Go to the bottom. What is that? 35% is at the bottom. All right, so let's find the Black Knight here. We're scrolling down. Black Widow. Wow. Wow, that's a lot of scrolling. It's a lot of scrolling. 51%. It's not very good. Not very good. You know, obviously, geez Louise. I mean, like I said, the range is, what's the range? We saw 60 at the top end. I mean, so that's even towards the bottom of, yeah, look at that. I mean, that's at the bottom. That's not good. You're scrolling way, I know you can't read these percentages, but you get the idea just from the scrolling. Ugh. God, and it was 0.13 cubes, so let's just look. So 0.5 is the top end, and there it's probably right there. Yeah, so 0.13. I mean, we're in the bottom quarter here, so yeah, that's not, again, not very good. We're not digging this. What about when drawn? When drawn, right? Because it matters when you get it, like not just when you've got it in a deck. Oh Lord, is that Black Widow? Black Widow's doing Black Knight. 52%. All right. Let's just see. Okay, let's look at when percentage when played, and then we'll play around. We'll look at the average cubes. All right, so hella Ultron Galactus types throw off the percents a little bit up there, but let's see. All right, so we're at 56s. Black Panther 55, Widow 54, Black Knight 53 when played. This is about bottom half. So it's, everything's bottom. Everything is bottom, 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 bottom. The 0.2 average cubes, all of this is not very good in my opinion. Again, what's the highest average cubes? Let's go to a real one. Yeah, I mean, it's like not even half what, and there's Black Knight. So it's right about just below the halfway point. So let's talk about how to fix this card. That's really what we want to talk about here. Issues with the card in general. So if you're unaware, look, it's a 1-2. I'm sure you know, but if you're unaware, it's a 1-2. You got to play it. Then after you play it, and when a card gets discarded, you get the Ebony Blade for that value. So you need to play Black Knight. Nothing happens after that. But then you need to discard something. After you discard something, then you get an Ebony Blade in your hand, and then you've got to play the Ebony Blade. That's a lot of stuff to get something on the board. So, and you've got to get it to line up properly. So you've got the Black Knight has got to get played, and then you've got to discard, but you also got to discard something that you want to get the points for. So I had plenty of opportunity where I got Black Knight, I got, say, like a Sif or a Blade, but I didn't have anything good to discard in my hand. Maybe I had all low power cards, or the card on my right-hand side that Blade would take out wasn't a good discard. So I'm like, well, this doesn't make sense for me to do anything with these yet. So I'm sitting here like waiting. So there's a lot of clunkiness, a lot of things that you've got to get lined up for this card to work properly. So the focus to me is more of a rework than an OTA, because I don't think the 1-2 is necessarily bad, but I think that there needs to be something changed here so that the card can work a little better. 3 to 4 steps to get a card/cards to work. I mean, just no, it doesn't work that way. So one of the things, well, we've got several things here that I think that could work pretty good. And again, they're mainly reworks. The first one that I've got up here is it auto draws the card, meaning the Ebony Blade. And so that way, like, so when I play Black Knight, it automatically puts the Ebony Blade either in my hand or on the board. On the board is probably too strong, but if it automatically puts it in my hand, okay, that's something better. So that way it doesn't matter, you know, like when I discard, it's there. It's just, and the card, then the Ebony Blade will take the pot, it will be a 4-0 until I discard, which is like, okay, cool. And, you know, and if I want to play the Ebony Blade and I haven't discarded yet, it's going to be sitting there as a 4-0. It's, you know, Lady Deathstrike could take it out if somebody wants, but I could still play it, and it'll just, it's more like an ongoing, the Ebony Blade itself is like an ongoing. So that way it'll take whatever I discard, which I think would help with the flow a little bit. I also think, now I don't know if I'd combine this one with what I just said, but I think, say you don't get Black Knight early, because that's one thing that I think that is a potential we'll talk about in a second. But I think regardless of when you play Black Knight, say you get Black Knight on turn 3 and you've already discarded something on turn 1 or 2. I think that if you then play Black Knight later, just let the Ebony Blade take the power of whatever card is discarded first, period. Again, sort of ongoing. So that way it doesn't matter the sequence of when you play Black Knight or you discard, it takes that aspect away from being a challenge. It's just like, look, whatever is discarded first, that's what the Ebony Blade gets. But you can only get the Ebony Blade if you play Black Knight. Okay, seems mentally easy enough for me. I don't know if that's coding easy enough, but I like that aspect because I think it takes away some of the clunkiness. Another part that I started sort of alluding to is the Black Knight always starts in your hand. So that way you're guaranteed to get it early on. I think that might help with some of the clunkiness. I like what I said a little better as far as like making this card, I don't know, a little bit more like playable, because I just think it's not playable right now. But I think if you start Black Knight in your hand, it's like, okay, at least you take that factor away where you always get it. So you can just know it's like sort of like a Quicksilver. Like, look, I'm always going to get this. I know I'm always going to get this. I might not get everything else, but I'll always get Black Knight. That might be the easiest coding thing. You just take whatever codes in silver, or not, did I say Silver Surfer? I meant Quicksilver, whatever I said, doesn't matter. Quicksilver, you put that code on Black Knight as well. Great, perfect. Now, if you play both those cards, I don't know, maybe it's an RNG toss up. We'll see. The other part is, I think, or the other aspect I would do to try to potentially fix this card is the Ebony Blade. I don't think it shows it here. Oh, there it is. I would take the Ebony Blade and reduce the cost. I think a 4 cost on this is too expensive. I like that I can play Zabu with it and get it to a 3. But again, there's just so much stuff that you've got to do to get this thing out. And they do need to be careful a little bit because of the 420 aspect and then Ghost Rider, and you're getting multiple 20s on the board. But the high roll on that and getting that is so few and far between. It's really not going to happen. So I think it would be kind of nice to maybe lower this. I think 2 might, oh gosh, man. I don't know. Maybe 2's okay. If they leave it exactly how it is now, maybe 2's fine. so that way you can play it a little bit late. I don't know. I just think with 4 right now, it's not doing anything because it's just too clunky. Everything's too clunky. So, you know, some of this stuff might not make sense if you do some of the stuff I said first, and that's sort of why I led with that. But right now, this card is just, it just doesn't work. I was joking about Dara coming up with a deck that worked. And the reason I brought Dara up into this is because when I had the video about this card being bad and was on stream, people were like, well, Dara has a deck. And so that's it. Just some comments were made on stream and in my YouTube videos. All that stuff is linked below in the description if you want to follow any of that. They mentioned Dara. So I was like, okay, well, Dara is obviously a great player. I already knew who he was, obviously. And I've tried the deck, and look, I suck. Dara's good. So, but I didn't like it. I was like, this still sucks. I don't want to do it. So that's why Dara made it in the video. Anyway, but obviously he's a good player. So those are my suggestions. Obviously Black Knight is not doing anything to shake up the meta. It's just something that I think they need to work on. So I'm going to end it there. Appreciate you guys making it this far. I'm trying to push to 5,000 subscribers for the birthday month. I started a job. I unfortunately cannot edit as much as I used to. Apologies for that. But I want to keep making content. So if you want to help support the channel, honestly, just comment below, hammer down like buttons. I'm not looking for anything more than that. Honestly, I just want to grow. That's it. And hope the channel can survive while I'm working and limit my editing. That's it. So, but I want to keep doing it. So appreciate you making this far. Till next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.